Hey, what's going on, guys? Joe here. So this is my new room in South Carolina. Obviously, you can't really see much, but still kind of setting up things and whatnot and making it kind of my own. But got here 2 days ago, and I figured the thing that would make most sense for me to make a video on would be talking about like how to eat when you're kind of in a pinch. Like obviously, when I was traveling for the day, and it was definitely a whole day's worth of traveling. I had a few layovers and all that. But when you're in a pinch and you can't really pack food, what is the best way to go about eating? And one thing I definitely learned, and I'm not a big traveler, but hopefully will be coming up soon to many places. But to this point, I'm not really a big traveler and haven't too much in the past, especially not when having to worry about like what I would eat, because before, even in the times that I have traveled, I really just didn't care, and a lot of times it was with my parents. I was younger and yada yada. But since I guess growing up and traveling on my own, I pretty much only did it once, and it was just a really short thing. But for this time, I kind of had to worry about just what I was going to eat throughout the day. And, I guess I could have technically made it a cheat day, but it wasn't my regular cheat day. And I kind of like staying on that just regular schedule, I guess. And I didn't want to, because usually mine's on Sunday. And considering that I still knew I was going to be watching football and all that good stuff, I didn't want to just kind of make it a regular day. Plus, as soon as I got here, I didn't have food ready for me anyway. And I knew I wouldn't. But anyhow, I wanted to try to eat as healthily as I could on the road. So I pretty much wanted to talk about that in this video. And so what I ended up doing, one thing I definitely learned is that airport food is expensive as fuck, for sure. Like, I ended up buying, when I first got up, I'll start at the beginning of the day. When I first got up, I still was able to eat a regular meal that I had ready for me. I had to get up pretty early. I got up at like 5:30, I think, a.m. and obviously a.m. And I had a regular meal ready for me then. But then my flight wasn't actually till about 9. So I still had almost 4 hours to go. And by the time I was ready to board, I was kind of getting pretty hungry. And my first flight was for 4 hours, so I didn't want to go that long. And technically there wouldn't have been anything wrong with that, but I'm pretty much generally used to eating around every like 4 to 5 hours, sometimes even 3, just depending on how big the meal I had was before. So I ended up eating right before I boarded my first plane, and pretty much the best thing I could find, this is in the Phoenix airport. My main concern is I just wanted to try to cover my bases as best as possible. Generally what I'm looking for is, like I said, a good portion of fats, carbs, and proteins like I always usually have in my meal. But obviously I'm going to be pretty much just having whatever they have at the airport is the best thing I can go for. So what I found was I was able to get a chicken wrap, and it was pretty much like a chicken salad wrap, I guess. But it had the just iceberg lettuce, not the best, but I did what I could. But I also was able to get a side salad with it that had some like spinach in it and stuff, and I was able to get the dressing on the side, so I just put like a little bit. I think it was like ranch, so I got a little fat with that. And then there was actually some almonds in the salad too, which was nice for some more fats. But obviously getting my protein source from the chicken, getting some carbs from the wheat wrap. And actually I think it was a multi-grain wrap, so it wasn't even wheat, because you guys know I generally try to stay away from wheat. And so that was pretty good, but it was $12 for that. And it wasn't like a Chipotle size deal here, like or whatever. It wasn't a huge burrito or wrap. So that was kind of rough, but still I was happy to, at least, because my other choices honestly were just like McDonald's and stuff, which I could have made the best. I could still make do with places like McDonald's. You could special order things and stuff, but at a freaking like airport, I just didn't think that was something that they would, I don't know, I didn't want to bother with that. If I had this ready to go and this was obviously fresher as well, then I was going to go with that. So I did that, and that lasted me about 4 hours. And then when I got to Detroit, which was my second stop, 4 hours later, I was like semi-hungry, but I wasn't completely like I needed a full-on meal. And there honestly wasn't much to eat there. So I just ended up getting a protein bar, and it was I believe it was just like a pure protein bar. That was the brand. And what I generally look for when I get a protein bar is to make sure that the protein is not mostly soy protein and then it's whey. And this was just a mix of whey isolate, whey concentrate, and I think that was pretty much it. I don't think there was actually any soy protein in it. So there's some bars that, like for instance, Big 100 I think was the one that I was going to get first, because it was more like a meal. It has a lot of calories, and considering I'm bulking, it wasn't going to be a bad thing or anything. But their main protein source is soy. Their main protein source. So I didn't end up going with, and that was the first time I ever realized that Big 100s had mostly soy. And I don't know if it was just this flavor. Maybe, it could have just been that. But anyways, Pure Protein bars, shout out to them because they're using whey. So, and then really from there, I just tried to hold off until I actually got home, and then we end up going out somewhere as soon as I got here, and then I kind of just special ordered at a restaurant and just got like a typical, grilled chicken sandwich substitute for wheat bread instead of white. And like I said, usually I try to stay away from wheat, but I'll always opt for wheat over white. So obviously I know that sounds really dull and boring, but honestly when I travel, and especially because I didn't have any food at home to where I was going to be going to, just pretty much anywhere that I ate out, I just tried to do the best I could, because I didn't know if I was eventually going to end up being in a pinch where I pretty much just had to eat whatever was available, whether that's just lard, like whatever, hot dogs. So that's pretty much what I did. But I wanted to see, for those of you guys watching, if you guys travel a lot, or if you're going to be traveling, or you'd had a stint where you had a situation like me where you were going to be gone for like a day or two without actually having your own food at home, what did you guys do to get yourself through that pinch? And I know a lot of people might I guess maybe I could have stocked up on some like protein shakes or drinks that I could have brought, but as a lot of you guys know, I really haven't been taking any whey protein or anything like that, any kind of supplement as of recently, just to try to do things as, I guess, I just pretty much have been doing this experiment just to try to get my protein with food, and I wanted to give it enough time to where I could give you guys a solid, some solid feedback on whether I felt it made a difference or not. And it's been about 3 months, and so far it's actually been pretty good. So I wanted to stick with that probably until like the end of this month, and then I'm going to go back and then give that a few months and kind of just compare the results. I just like doing like experiments like that. But that would definitely be an option too, just as long as they're sealed. I'm sure you could, I don't think you could actually bring them on your carry-on though, would be the problem, depending on how heightened your airport security is and all that. But anyways, I wanted to get some feedback from you guys. I wanted to share, first of all, what I did, but for those of you that have been in a similar situation, or maybe with your work you travel all the time, what do you guys do consistently to kind of not have it really affect your daily goals as far as macros? Now, obviously I wasn't able to count, but just because I only knew it was going to be just a day, I didn't really care if I was going to be like a little over or a little under or whatever, so I just basically tried to eat as healthy as I could. But let me know, guys, and I'll definitely be giving you a tour of South Carolina. It's beautiful, even in the wintertime. The weather is really bipolar, so it can be raining or it could be beautiful weather at any time. But visited the beach yesterday. It's really nice, and then obviously I'll keep you guys up to date with what's going on in my life as far as the band goes too. But most importantly, still going to be pumping out health videos and going to be visiting my new gym that I'll be going to also. So I'll be recording there. Lots of good stuff to come, and it's a good situation. So health for that, guys. See you next time.